When I was growing up, one of the most exciting things for me and my sister when we were children was going to the store with our parents and picking out the stuff we want. Oh man, that was a big deal back in the day. You know, it wasn't a whole lot to do in the 60s. And, television was still fairly new. It was just a different world. It was a more family-oriented world. So one of the big deals in the family was, when your parents go to the grocery store and take you. And you get to pick the cereal you want and, use some ice cream you want. You won't get a lot of things, but the things you do get, you'll be grateful for. But here go the thing. My mother always got us some things we wanted. Always made sure, her and my father made sure they had stuff for the family, so we all could eat. And, if this one liked this kind of vegetable more, they'll get that. And if the other one liked this one more, they'll have that too. But my mother always had her own stuff. And it would be in her bedroom. Her little candy and candy bars and things like that. And those things she always kept separate. She kept those in her bedroom. Everything else in the house, if it's downstairs in the kitchen, is free for all. But do not mess with mama's stuff in there on her dresser. So one time she had a tall thing, like a tube, and it had a bunch of candy in it all the way up, a bunch of little candies. And, I come home from school, and every day I go in my mother's room, I give me some of them candies, give me some of them candies, give me some of them candies. And, it was going down, down, down. So she come home one day, she say, I know you the one been in my candy. Stay out my stuff. I'm like, okay, mama. Next couple days go by, I done ate it down. She come, I told you to stay out my stuff. I'm not going to tell you no more. Stay out of my stuff. If I tell you again, I'm going to whoop your ass. You're going to get a spanking. So, she ain't going to do nothing. Not over no candy. Back then it was more threats than anything. They only get you every now and then. You really had to do some fucked up shit. So, but she definitely did not want me to fuck with the candy. So it wasn't like she was going to just really fuck me up, but she was real serious when she definitely told me stay out her stuff. And you're supposed to obey your mama. So you try to obey. And when you're a badass kid like I was, you obey by still doing it and hoping that she don't know it. So then in her mind, you obey. So I'm eating the candy going down. So this time, she said, don't go in it this time. It's the final time. I'm not going to tell you not to go in it no more. Okay, I'm eating it down too far. So I just went and got a few, so it only went down a little bit. So my mother comes home. She calls me in her room. And she spins the jar around. And she has a piece of tape measuring exactly how high it was. And I didn't eat that much, but it went down just that fraction, so she knew that I had been in her candy. And she said, I thought I told you not to go in my candy. You ain't slick. Don't ever try to outfool me or do nothing to get around me. When I tell you to do something, you do it. I'm like, oh. But hey, I'm bad. I'm hard-headed. So the next day, I come home from school, and there's a lot of little candies in there. So I'm like, okay, I was eating, 10, and it was going down fast. I cut it down to 5 and 6 she had it marked. So I looked at the jar, ain't no mark on here. But I can't trust mama. She got some kind of mark. I said, okay, I'm going to eat one. So it ain't going to go down none. So I went in there, I got one piece of candy. So my mother comes home from work. She go in her room. She say, come here. She gets the jar. She takes the top off. She dumps them on the dresser. And she go, 1, 2, 3, counts them. That's all I really can say. It was one short. But when my mother dumped that shit out and counted that candy and busted me, I said to myself, I'm going to stop fucking with this lady. I'm going to leave this lady the fuck alone. Because I'm going to get fucked up. She going to beat my ass. I ain't going to be able to go outside and stay extra. When I say, Mama, can I stay out longer with the kids? She going to say, no. I'm not going to be able to ride my bike as long as I was riding it. Okay? I'm just fucking myself up. Let me leave this lady alone because she is too damn slick for the kid. One.